We had some needs, you know what I'm saying, looking at it, you look at there's a few of these, there's a couple it looks to me like maybe that are still aren't on the board that are high school guys, but we had some needs, especially in the defensive backfield, I think it was 3 years ago, Patrick, we graduated 9 in the same class, so we had a junior college that to fill the void, and guess what? 2 years has come back around, so that's what we have to do, and that's just part of it. And then we certainly we lost a few guys up front defensively too. And we felt like right now we had to have some needs to address our guys that we lost up front defensively, and certainly on the back end defensively. So that was a big need. So we were excited about the guys we got. I think. Again, I'm sound like every coach in America, but I think there's a lot of great football players in this group right here. So excited about them, and just felt like too offensively, we added just some super playmakers, just really fired up. You think about Brownlee and Robinson. I felt like we had probably the two best junior college receivers in the state of Mississippi. So fired up with those guys, just ecstatic and again, we really addressed all our needs, and so as a football coach, you're happy about that.
Brownlee, is he an outside guy, inside guy?
We'll see. He's got the ability. He's so athletic. I went up and watched him play mid-season. I just thought he was just a special football player. And same thing with Antoine. We watched them both, and we thought they're two guys that are two big-time playmakers. So we're fired up. We graduate quite a few guys at the receiver position. So to get those guys, I think it was a big get for us.
One of the other receivers from Oak Grove.
Yeah, just ecstatic. Brandon, just a great young high school receiver that, you look at Brandon, you're looking at that 6'2" frame, 10'5", 10'6" meter guy. So, again, we felt like Brandon's got NFL potential down the road, and we felt like, he's a young man that's going to be a great football player here. And, again, when you talk about those three wideouts, we brought in three dynamic, I think, explosive players into the fold there. So we're excited about that.
If you pick up a couple more in this class, you get around 16, 17, you're going to try to pick up some more in the second period, or is that about what you're going to do?
Well, that's about we got a shorter class. We're not going to have as many to give come February because our class is a little bit, I've been saying that, Heath, our class is a little bit smaller this year. So, we might have one or, we might have just a few. We ain't got much, we might have one or two, but it's going to be thin.
How much did the late bowl game kind of impact?
I think it helps. It always helps because, I know I was all over the country last week, so it allows me to get out and go. And so that's always a good thing when you get out and you can get in homes and go see mama and go see daddy. I think that's an important thing. So, I was ecstatic with that because you don't have quite the squeeze, but it's part we all live with in football. Everything's, but it's been earlier with the signing date for the last 3 years, so we understand kind of what we're getting into. But I really felt like we finished strong, and I'm excited about the class.
You have 11 in now. How many do you plan on?
We'll Tim, those me, man. You've been talking to me for a long time. We'll figure it out as we go, man. We have some, we'll still bring in a few guys in that back end defensively. That's still something we'll address in January. But there's some positions we pretty much about fill up on, and there'll be some positions we'll address in January and maybe grab a few more there.
But do you get a couple more today? Will you have a couple
You're always waiting. You never know, baby. You're always sitting there thinking.
Do you think this would be the biggest class of JUCOs that y'all signed?
Probably so. Yeah, probably so. Well, we had that second year. Second year we were able to get some 2-for-2s and 3-for-3s, but again, we lost. Like I said, when you lose 9 out of class, you can't sign 9, so it's just a 2-year deal. So you're back at it, and then, I felt like, up front, those guys that we had to get some defensive guys up front too, because you look at Delmon and DeMario, they're walking out. So I really feel like just to put the pieces to the puzzle, we had to get a couple guys, JUCO-wise, up front too.
Coach, you're going to keep your eye on the quarterback late?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. It's something that I'm certainly thinking about. It's a thing that I've spent a lot of time the last 2 days really contemplating. So, again, we signed a lot of offensive guys a year ago. we had a lot of offensive guys committed. So there's also there'll be a push. Most of the guys in this second tier will be defensive guys that we'll look at. So it's but that's one position. I'm not going to tell you yes or no, Glenn, just right now. I'm still thinking about it.
Linebacker still a priority. You got one.
Yeah,
High school kid.
I tell you, the Plius kid we think special.
Yeah.
He's just he's a young man that to me reminds me. He reminds me like of a young Michael Bowley. He's that 6'3.5", 6'4", long, tall, athletic frame. So he's a young man we're fired up about, ecstatic about. But we'll always certainly. I think linebacker's one of those spots for sure, Tim, that we'll try to get another guy in here in January, February.
Offensive line picked up one. And is that
Well,
gonna
we
be
got.
time?
The thing with the offensive line is we've redshirted a lot of guys, and we got numbers at the offensive line. So we were excited about Takeem. We're fired up about him and just think he's going to be a great player. He's a massive man. He's a guy that we just felt like can come in here and compete right away. But we certainly, we got some guys too that we feel like are some good young guys, and we were able to redshirt. So, and again, you get into a numbers game too, so we couldn't go too much on offensive line because we got some guys that we feel like are going to be really good football players that we're redshirting right now.
Do you feel like the JUCO guys, does it feel like they come in more ready for this level, having played?
Well, their bodies, you're older. Certainly, you're older. Usually, have a little bit more savvy the older you get. So, you're certainly recruiting junior college guys to come in and compete right away. I think that's always a push in that regard. So, we certainly hope so.
Do you anticipate the bunch that's signed so far coming in early?
A lot of them, yes.
Most of the JUCOs.
We've been good for about 3 years of getting guys in here early.
Yeah.
And I think that always helps because you get them in early. You get to go through spring and gets those guys ready for next year. So, that's certainly in the back of our mind. Tim, we do that. We get as many guys. We had a ton of guys in last year.
Yeah.
Quite a few in this year.
And going fishing in Iowa again, third straight year up there.
Yeah. I was actually up almost near the Canada line, man. So the northern Wisconsin last week, and it's we've had, and those guys have been really good football players. Kyle's certainly done a great job, and we've been blessed in that area. And those guys have been done, but us, man. We're gonna go from Florida to California. I'd sign everybody within a 2-hour radius if I could, but we're gonna go as far as we got to go. Like I said, we go to Alaska, whatever we got to do to get the best we can get. So I feel like our guys have done a great job, and coaches have done a great job, and I just feel like we brought in a lot of talented young men. Like we talked about, our receivers are long. They're all fast. Then we got some explosive guys up front on the defensive line. I think, last year we were able to sign Eric Kitchen. This year, Terrence Cherry. Those two guys that are explosive. And I think Eric's done a great job for us. I think Terrence he's just an explosive. I've loved him since high school. Jack's taking my cell phone, so I got to make sure I'm talking about everybody right. It's we got there'll probably be 1 or 2 more added here in just a little while, but we're just excited. We got 3 DBs in, and we're fired up about. We think those guys. Again, that was a huge need, and we'll sign some more DBs too in February.
Are those corners or safety a mix there?
They're a little bit of a mix.
Smith's more of a true corner. Fred?
Yes.
Out of Jones?
Yeah. We're going to put our best 5 on the field where we got to put them. That is.
Yeah, sure.
So, but they give us length and athleticism. I think all those guys are in that. Most of those guys, like when you talk about Fred and Eric, they're 6'1". They're extremely fast and physical. Their bodies are mature, and they're ready to play. So again, what it does and what it helps you for is that you immediately have competition right off the get-go when you start spring ball, and I think that's what football is all about. Whether it's playing, coaching, everything is just competition. So we should have good competition coming up.
What's Jalen Adams' status?
Right now, he's just injured. He got hurt, so it is what it is. So we'll be without him at the bowl game. So.